Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we'll be reading some weight loss stories. If you haven't heard, I'll be giving away 3 pieces of Narwhal merch this Halloween. The winners get to choose any piece of merch from our shop, a shirt, sweater, or hoodie. To enter the giveaway, just visit lukenarwhal.com/giveaway. The link is also in the top comment and description below. It can still be undone. Hi, I've been watching your channel for a while, and I feel like it has helped me through a quarantine and gives me motivation when I hit a plateau. I have always been overweight, and there is not a time I ever remember being at a healthy weight, and that frightens me. I was picked on at school, never fit in with the other girls, and even if I did have a group of friends, I always have this feeling that I am lesser than them or that they pity me. It sounds a bit ridiculous, but growing up overweight, self-conscious, and a female, it's hard not to feel this way. My mom grew increasingly concerned about my weight, but she expressed her concern in the most condescending and damaging way possible, that my relationship with her has been strained because of it. She was the reason I cried in the fitting room, because she said a dress I felt good in was too tight and ugly, and that she was going to take a picture at the party so I can see how ugly I look. This is just one of the many instances that has stuck with me forever, and why to this day I refuse to go clothes shopping with anyone. She would take me to the doctor regularly, and I hated it. Every doctor visit was met with crying, and the doctor telling me I need to desperately lose weight or I will develop diabetes as a 12-year-old. The one thing that she said that gave me hope was, it can still be undone. Those words made me feel like this wasn't permanent, and that maybe I could love my body and treat it right someday. Over the years, I've had many failed attempts at all types of diets you could imagine. I was in a slump. I felt defeated. My junior year of high school, I finally gained the courage to get a personal trainer after seeing my highest weight of 190 pounds. It may not seem as high as others, but for a 17-year-old girl that's only 5 feet tall, I was in deep trouble. I learned so much about nutrition and exercise and managed to lose 13 pounds. Finally, I saw progress and I felt the best I had in my entire life. I saw that there was truth to the words my doctor said, and I was living proof that I can still undo it all. Fast forward to my first year of college, I was so disgusted with myself. Being an architecture major, balancing other classes, and managing a job, I had gone back to my old ways and not only managed to gain back all the weight I lost, but gained even more. I've only had the courage to weigh myself in April of this year and weighed in at 207 pounds. I was distraught and found myself in the same struggle I thought I was done with when I first lost weight. I decided to take control once more. I had no more work due to quarantine and a lot more time on my hands since I don't have to work on models for architecture anymore. I could do this and do it for the long term. I decided to count calories. It was the one diet I hadn't tried before, and let me tell you, it works. Since that day in April when I weighed in at 207 pounds, I have lost a significant amount to put me at 158 pounds today. I am incredibly proud of myself. I fit into my sister's jeans, a size 6, when I used to be a size 14. The difference that your health and well-being has on your motivation, confidence, and attitude is night and day compared to how I felt in the past. I know I can keep this up to reach my goal weight of 120 pounds, and I will never fall back into the person I was. And please remember that it can always be undone. I wish everyone the best of luck on your journey. The only opinion that matters is yours. Hey Narwhals, I'm a 25-year-old African-American female, and I've been on a weight loss/fitness journey on and off for the past few years. One major obstacle has been the opinions of my traditional family members. My parents are from West Africa, but I was born in the USA. In their eyes, anything less than overweight is considered too skinny and unattractive, especially for young women. And needless to say, I spent most of my childhood on the higher end of healthy to moderately overweight, a BMI of 24 to 27. I never truly liked being chubby, but my family always assured me that I was thick and shouldn't try to slim down. I didn't buy it, but I never did anything to change either. Fast forward to last summer, I was living on my own and training for a marathon, one of my bucket list items. I was in beast mode for 2 months straight, running nearly every day, eating cleaner than I ever had, and generally treating my body like a sacred temple. Thanks to my discipline and consistency, I had successfully dropped to the middle of the healthy BMI range. I was over the moon. I felt better than I ever had, and my confidence skyrocketed. I was finally in my dream body. I reached my happy weight, so to speak. But that fall, I took a visit to my parents' house for a family gathering. It had been over 6 months since they had last seen me, and our entire extended family would be in attendance. Of course, I expected a few comments on my physical changes, but I was shocked at what was said to me. "Oh my God, are you ill? What's happened to you? They don't feed you where you live now? Please eat more. You look scary." I was the talk of the event, the gossip of the night. My mom even pulled me aside to have an intervention with me. She said that people were concerned about how thin I had gotten, but in reality, I was a healthy weight. I couldn't understand why they weren't as happy for me as I was for myself. In the end, I let their voices be louder than mine. I turned on myself and scorned my progress the way they had. I felt absolutely terrible, like the laughingstock of the party. All my self-esteem deflated, and I was ashamed of my body, the same body I'd been so proud of before. So I caved and ate, and ate, and ate. It didn't help that everyone was offering me food left and right, but it was a 2-week-long binge, like a self-induced punishment for having the audacity to go against the grain. I had put my thoughts beneath theirs. I was their doormat. And that negative body image and shame led me to gain all the weight back and then some. With more meat on my bones, the comments from my family stopped, but I found myself growing more and more depressed. I stopped working out, postponed my marathon, and just wallowed in self-pity all day. But one day, I came to the realization that their ideals only matter as much as I let them matter. At the end of the day, I'm the one that has to deal with the consequences of my actions. From that day on, I made a conscious decision to be the period at the end of my own sentence. So I picked myself up from my bootstraps and started my journey again. I'm glad to report that I'm nearly back in the healthy range. My happy weight is just around the corner, and this time I promise to have my own back and forget the naysayers. My advice? Excluding medical professionals, the only opinion that matters is yours. And no one will ever have the chance to walk in your shoes, so of course they don't know what it's like to be you or why you do what you do. So who cares what they think? It's your body after all. If they want to talk, let them. And this journey has been not only physical, but mental too. You have to look yourself in the eye and decide what and how you choose to live your life. And I don't know about you, but I choose health. I choose happiness. I choose inner peace. Stay strong, narwhals. I believe in you. I gave up, but I'm still going to win. I made a submission for this channel a few weeks ago. Feeling guilty and overwhelmed, I made myself a promise I wouldn't give up on my weight loss journey. However, I realized I was truthfully only in denial. I haven't lost a pound of weight that stayed off since August of this year. I kept saying that I was going to try harder, but each week of trying harder ended up turning into a week of making excuses to not exercise and saying, I can get this candy bar, I've earned it with all the stress I'm under. By no means do I feel that there should be foods that are off limits. However, with my level of self-control, I will consume that candy bar and another and a half bag of cookies and still feel like I should have something else to ease the stress I'm under. Stress is probably the enemy of weight loss, and this year has been one of the hardest I've ever been through, academically and socially for obvious reasons. However, what I think matters far more than sticking to any sort of diet or exercise regime is that I'm slowly making healthier decisions by default. I actually told my mother today not to make my favorite dish at Thanksgiving, a corn pudding, a family recipe with creamed corn, evaporated milk, sugar, eggs, and butter. I've stopped using MyFitnessPal as regularly, and I've stopped carrying what's on my Fitbit as much. And part of me wonders if it's because I don't have people who are physically around me who constantly remind me I'm on a journey, or if it's because I'm around friends whose idea of socializing is sharing a bag of chocolates while watching a show. I was actually really excited about this week because of the food I prepped and the plans I made for working out, but there has not been a day this week that I did not buy a whole pack of some type of snacks and then ate the whole thing before the day was through, an extra 600 to 1,000 calories each day. It's only Wednesday, so I'm going to freeze the cookies that I bought today and try to stick to my meal plan Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then next week I'll start with the clean slate once again. I'm getting rather stressed because I have a make or break exam next week, but if there is anything I've also noticed with all the stress of the semester, it's that 4 years of chronic pain is almost entirely caused by stress, and the only time I've gotten significant lasting relief from it was when I was at the peak of my weight loss effort over this past summer. It was 3 months with only 1 or 2 pain flares, where otherwise I'm nearly bedridden once a week due to my pain levels. And today I also received a set of stationary bike pedals from my parents that I intend to use to work out when I can't leave the apartment. But the important part is that I'm ready to work on working towards a version of myself that isn't dependent on pain medication, and exercise has proven to be the best way to get there. And that brings us to the end of the video, narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more weight loss stories just like this. And once again, I'll be giving away 3 pieces of Narwhal merch this Halloween. The winners get to choose any piece of merch from our shop, a shirt, sweater, or hoodie. To enter the giveaway, just visit lukenarwhal.com/giveaway. The link is also in the top comment and description below. And this has been your host, Luke Narwhal, and until next time, have a good one, Narwhals.